chosen ones, lean in. There's a storm brewing behind closed doors, and the whispers you were never meant to hear are spilling into the light. The very people who plotted, schemed, and thought they buried your destiny are now panicking. Why? Because a whistleblower, someone from the inside, is tearing back the curtain on the greatest cover-up of your life, your stolen inheritance. Their lies are unraveling, their secrets are leaking, and every evil move they made is coming back to choke them. You were meant to stay blind, but the truth is too loud now. These wicked souls are stressed out, desperate and scrambling because their time is up, and yours is just beginning. Welcome back to the channel where we get real, we get spiritual, and we get our crowns back. Today's message carries a weight that might just shift the way you see your life. Because what I'm about to share is more than a motivational pep talk. It's a spiritual truth rooted in history, scripture, and real human experience. Throughout time, people who carried light, wisdom, or divine favor have been targeted. Think of Joseph in the Bible, a young man blessed with prophetic dreams, only to be betrayed by his own brothers who sold him into slavery. Why? Because his gift exposed their insecurities, and they thought silencing him would erase his destiny. But as history proves, destiny delayed is never destiny denied. Just like Joseph eventually rose to power in Egypt, the treasures of your spirit, the joy, the peace, the calling God placed on you cannot be permanently stolen, only temporarily hidden. The betrayal you've endured, the backstabbing, the mocking, the attempts to sabotage your purpose are not random. They are signs that you're carrying something priceless, something so radiant that it unsettles those still lost in the shadows. Psychologists even note that envy often drives people to tear others down, not because they hate them, but because they fear being left behind. That's exactly what's happening when your so-called cousin Chaos tries to hide your inheritance. They can't access it, so they attempt to bury it, hoping you'll forget the power you carry. But here's the divine twist. God is the ultimate record keeper. Nothing is lost in his economy. Every injustice is noted, every act of sabotage is weighed, and in time the balance is restored. The peace they thought they stole now eats away at their sleep. The opportunities they tried to block are circling back to you multiplied, and the very lies they spread are unraveling in the light of truth. So if you're sensing a shift, that's no coincidence. It's the whistleblower of divine justice exposing the fraud of false victories. Their season of borrowed glory is over, and your comeback is already in motion. Stay with me, because you're about to see that what was hidden is being returned. And this time, nothing and no one can take it away. Point 1. Their win was your spiritual training ground. Look, it's easy to sit back and stare at your past, to feel like the universe, or worse, people, cheated you out of something you deserved. But here's the cosmic plot twist. What you see as loss, betrayal, or heartbreak is actually the universe's most intense classroom. Every act of deception, every stolen opportunity, every whisper behind your back wasn't meant to destroy you, it was meant to refine you. Life, in its mysterious wisdom, doesn't hand out lessons in tidy little packages. It disguises them as struggles, as roadblocks, as unfair moments, because the deepest wisdom is always earned through lived experience. Think about it. If everything came easy, if no one ever betrayed or challenged you, where would your strength come from? Growth without resistance is impossible, just as muscles never develop without weight to push against. Pain becomes the weight that sculpts the spirit. When they betrayed you, when they lied, when they tried to bury your light, they unknowingly triggered the paradox of resilience. In their attempt to break you, they forced you to tap into strengths you didn't even know you carried. Modern neuroscience shows that the human brain is astonishingly adaptive. When we experience stress and hardship, new neural pathways form to help us cope and grow. Studies on post-traumatic growth reveal that people who endure great suffering often emerge with heightened resilience, sharper focus, and a deeper appreciation of life. Your hippocampus, the region that governs memory, and your amygdala, which processes emotions, begin to rewire themselves. Adversity literally teaches your brain how to survive and how to interpret challenges not as dead ends, but as blueprints for endurance. Your pain isn't random, it's the architecture of your transformation. And what about those tears you've cried, and the nights you felt crushed by the weight of it all? Those moments were not wasted. Psychologists have found that individuals who suffer deeply often develop greater empathy and emotional intelligence. You learn to read people better, to sense the unspoken, and to comfort without judgment because you've been there. Hardship quietly trains your heart to understand the pain of others while giving you the strength not to drown in it. That kind of insight can't be taught in classrooms or textbooks. It's earned in the trenches of real life. Every heartbreak, every disappointment has been shaping you into someone who feels deeply but also stands firmly. Now let's talk about power, the very thing others thought they were stripping from you. The irony is that true power was never theirs to take, because real power doesn't come from control over others, but from mastery of self. Each betrayal taught you boundaries, each rejection taught you discernment, and each setback forced you to discover patience. Instead of weakening you, those experiences multiplied your strength. Ancient wisdom across cultures echoes this truth. Taoist philosophy teaches that obstacles are pathways, not barriers. Indigenous traditions view suffering as initiation, a sacred process that awakens wisdom. Even modern psychology affirms that resilience is not inherited but developed through challenge. In short, what felt like punishment was preparation. The universe doesn't waste effort. Every hardship was part of your initiation. And here's the sweetest twist. The storm that once surrounded you is no longer yours to carry. Those who plotted against you, who tried to block your progress, now face the weight of their own choices. Meanwhile, you walk lighter, not because you got revenge, but because you outgrew the need for it. True victory is not about proving them wrong, it's about proving yourself right. You've traded resentment for wisdom, bitterness for strength. Your spirit was tempered in the fire they set, and now that same fire fuels your light instead of your pain. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a product of transformation. So when you look back on your past, don't see it as wasted time or stolen potential. See it as training. See it as the pressure that revealed your hidden strength. See it as the refining fire that uncovered a power that was always within you, waiting for the right moment to rise. You are not broken, you are forged. You are the one who endured the storm, absorbed its lessons, and emerged unstoppable. The betrayals became blessings, the heartbreaks became blueprints, and the struggles became stepping stones. And now, wiser and stronger than ever, you are living proof that what was meant to bury you only made you bloom. Point 2. The divine whistleblower is a divine truth bomb. Think of the divine not just as a distant force, but as a cosmic auditor, meticulously reviewing every detail of existence. Imagine a celestial ledger where every action, word, and intention is recorded, not for judgment in a human sense, but for ultimate truth. Every whisper you've overheard, every scheme someone tried to pull against you, every subtle lie meant to suppress your potential, it's all logged. And now, the audit is complete. You're witnessing the results of this divine accounting play out in real time, and the universe isn't subtle about it. It's like the cosmos has lifted the veil and is saying, see, this is reality. This is what truly has been happening behind closed doors. The people who once appeared as allies, supporters, or even harmless bystanders are now revealing their authentic selves. Those who laughed in your face, dismissed your ideas, or sabotaged opportunities meant for your growth. They are being exposed. This exposure isn't a trivial coincidence. It's a precise, almost surgical unveiling of truth, showing everyone what was always hidden. Opportunities that were blocked for you, many of them were hollow from the start, built on shaky foundations of ego and control. The universe is dismantling their facade piece by piece, revealing the emptiness of their so-called power. The very structures they relied upon to manipulate or dominate are cracking under the weight of their own deception. What's remarkable here is the spiritual dimension of this unveiling. This isn't just about gossip spreading or karma returning in a vague, poetic sense. This is a targeted, energetic revelation. Spiritual teachers across history have noted that truth has a way of emerging when the time is right, often through forces beyond human comprehension. In essence, the divine is revealing the hidden architecture of deceit, letting the light in, and giving you the clarity you need to navigate your path without obstruction. You're seeing not just people's intentions, but the true essence of their character. And in this revelation, you're granted a rare gift, the ability to act with insight rather than reaction, to move through life knowing the battlefield is now illuminated. And the stress, the panic, and the anxiety you might sense from those who opposed you, it's not just a psychological response, it's the sheer terror of being exposed. Humans are masters of disguise, but the universe sees beyond every mask. When someone has built a life on lies, manipulation, or deceit, the pressure of truth becomes almost unbearable. It's the weight of knowing that every secret, every false narrative, every shadow they hid behind is now being pulled into the light. Their discomfort, their agitation, their frantic attempts to regain control, it's the unmistakable energy of a lie unraveling. For you, the chosen one, this moment is profound. It's not simply satisfaction or vindication, it's confirmation. Confirmation that the spiritual forces guiding you are real and that your patience and perseverance were never in vain. Every delay, every obstacle, every seemingly unfair twist of fate has been a part of a divine curriculum, designed to sharpen your vision and strengthen your spirit. Now, as the veils fall and the truth becomes visible to all, you stand unshaken, aligned with the cosmic order. You're witnessing not just the exposure of others, but the awakening of your own clarity, power, and discernment. The universe has pulled back the curtain, and in doing so, it's revealing a landscape where integrity, truth, and spiritual awakening reign supreme. This is the awakening of a hidden order, where what was once concealed cannot remain so. And in this unveiling, you realize one undeniable fact. The truth was never on pause. It was simply waiting for the right moment to emerge. And now that moment is here, and it is glorious. Point 3. Your peace is their poison. While the world around you seems to spiral into frenzy, with people running in every direction with metaphorical hair on fire, desperately trying to control circumstances beyond their reach, you are quietly engaging in something far more radical. You are choosing peace. In modern society, chaos has almost become a cultural standard. Busyness is praised as ambition, multitasking is celebrated as skill, and anxiety is often worn like a badge of honor, as though being perpetually stressed somehow equals productivity. Yet neuroscience tells a very different story. When the human brain is flooded with stress, cortisol levels spike, the heart races, and the prefrontal cortex, the very part of the brain responsible for decision-making and focus, begins to shut down. In other words, stress does not sharpen us, it clouds us. And here you are rewriting this script with every deliberate breath, every mindful pause, every moment you choose calm over chaos. You are literally reshaping your brain's neural pathways. Psychologists call this neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself through repeated behaviors. That means serenity isn't just a feeling. It's a practice that strengthens your resilience, sharpens your clarity, and equips you to handle life's storms with steady hands while others drown in their own panic. But this choice goes beyond peace. It leads you to rediscover joy, and not the shallow, consumer-driven happiness society dangles before us in advertisements where fulfillment is linked to a new gadget, a vacation, or external validation. No, the joy you're cultivating is deeper, rooted in contentment and self-possession. Positive psychology research shows that people who nurture joy through mindfulness, gratitude, and acts of meaning experience stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure, reduced inflammation, and even increased longevity. Imagine that. Your smile is not just an emotional response, it's a physiological shield against sickness. Your laughter is not just sound, it's medicine for your cells. Every time you savor a sunrise, relish a small victory, or find delight in the simplicity of life, you're proving scientifically that joy is rebellion against despair. And the beauty is this joy doesn't just heal you, it disrupts them. Those who sought to manipulate or diminish you cannot stand against it, because your inner light invalidates their narrative. Joy is disarming because it demonstrates freedom from external control. And as joy becomes your companion, you also find yourself reconnecting with purpose. Purpose isn't just a poetic idea, it is, as countless studies confirm, a cornerstone of human thriving. Researchers at University College London found that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, healthier, and more resilient lives. Purpose fuels persistence, gives context to pain, and makes setbacks stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. While others are trapped in cycles of gossip, shallow distractions, and an endless chase for validation, you are aligning your actions with something greater. You're sculpting your life with intention, creating a blueprint for your destiny rather than leaving it to chance. And this terrifies those around you because your focused direction shines a glaring light on their own lack of clarity. Their insecurities rattle louder when confronted with someone who knows where they're headed. None of this is coincidence. Your healing has been deliberate. The quiet choices to release bitterness, the courage to set boundaries, and the strength to walk away from toxic attachments. These are victories that often go unseen but never unfelt. Every time you choose to rise above drama, you erode the power of those who once thrived on your pain. Psychologists call the inverse reaction to this Schadenfreude in reverse. Typically, Schadenfreude refers to the pleasure some feel when others suffer. But in reverse, what you're witnessing is the discomfort some experience not when you fail, but when you succeed. Your joy, your freedom, your thriving, it unsettles them because it forces them to confront their own stagnation. Every smile you share, every goal you achieve, and every new boundary you enforce is a mirror they cannot bear to look into. And so, while they scrap for crumbs of validation and cling to illusions of control, you are building a banquet, a feast of self-respect, fulfillment, and abundance that requires no outside permission. Your autonomy becomes intoxicating in its defiance, not because it seeks to provoke, but because it refuses to bow. Their whispered criticisms, their restlessness, and their desperate attempts to draw you back into the chaos are nothing more than faint echoes of defeat against your steady triumph. You no longer need their table because you've built your own, overflowing with purpose, peace, and prosperity. And perhaps the most exhilarating part of this transformation is its visibility. Every step forward you take, every ounce of peace you protect, and every purposeful decision you embrace is not just survival, it is a declaration. It is evidence that the chosen one, the one who refuses to crumble under pressure, who heals when others wound, who thrives without applause, cannot be diminished. In a world addicted to distraction, your stillness is power. In a culture obsessed with appearances, your authenticity is wealth. And in a society that glorifies anxiety, your peace is revolution. This is not just thriving, it is triumph. And it is the quiet, unshakable proof that true victory requires no stage, only a steadfast soul. Point 4. They're stuck in the past while you're moving forward. They are so consumed by the past, obsessed with every slight, every misunderstanding, and every moment they think you wronged them, that they've trapped themselves in an endless loop of bitterness. Their minds are a museum of grievances, carefully curated, polished, and displayed for their own amusement. Yet it's a museum with no visitors because they've isolated themselves with their own negativity. They live in a world of repetition, recycling the same old stories, wearing the same masks, and performing the same tired rituals as if these acts could somehow rewrite history or manipulate the present. But here's the truth they refuse to see. Time does not bend to resentment, and energy wasted clinging to old wounds is energy stolen from growth. Emotionally and spiritually, they are stagnant, caught in a swamp of their own creation, sinking deeper with each attempt to control what cannot be controlled. Meanwhile, you have stepped into liberation. You've released the chains of their toxicity, letting go of resentment, fear, and the need for validation from those who never truly understood you. This release isn't just emotional, it's spiritual alchemy. Every ounce of negativity you've shed becomes fuel for your ascent, raising your vibration and aligning you with new blessings, opportunities, and people who resonate with your authentic energy. Scientists studying human behavior have found that individuals who forgive and release, whether it's through meditation, mindfulness, or conscious reflection, experience lower cortisol levels, improved immune responses, and enhanced clarity of thought. In essence, liberation isn't just a feeling, it's physiological and psychological empowerment. You are literally rewiring your mind to attract abundance while they are trapped in cycles that diminish theirs. The contrast between you and them is striking, almost cinematic. You are moving forward, evolving and expanding your consciousness, while they are replaying the same scenes over and over, hoping for a different ending. Carl Jung once said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. They are drinking their own poison, tangled in bitterness, while you are tasting the sweet nectar of freedom, of life lived fully without fear or manipulation. You've become a magnet for positive energy. Doors open where walls once stood. Synchronicities appear and your path seems illuminated by forces that the closed mind cannot perceive. This is why they watch you with such discomfort. Their stress isn't about your success. It's about the reflection of their own stagnancy. And here lies a cosmic truth. Those stuck in the past will always be haunted by the present. Their obsession with controlling your story or diminishing your growth is futile because you have transcended the narrative they cling to. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. The universe responds to expansion, to courage, and to clarity, and it has recognized your readiness for evolution. You are ascending while they remain entrenched, their energy tied to patterns that no longer serve them, unable to grasp that their game has lost power over you. So take a deep breath and witness the irony. The more they attempt to manipulate or obsess, the higher you rise. The more they replay old scripts, the more you rewrite your story. You are proof that spiritual freedom is not theoretical. It is tangible, observable, and transformative. You are the living embodiment of growth, the unstoppable force moving toward your destiny while they remain the echoes of a past they cannot let go. And in this divine contrast, you discover not just victory, but your rightful place in a life designed for abundance, illumination, and unstoppable forward momentum. Point 5. Your stolen inheritance isn't just money, it's your essence. When we talk about a stolen inheritance, most people's minds immediately go to money, land, or material possessions, but the truth runs deeper, far beyond the physical world. The most dangerous kind of theft is not found in bank accounts or legal documents. It's the quiet robbery of your spiritual inheritance, the wealth within you that shapes who you are and what you can become. This inheritance is made up of things so priceless they cannot be appraised. Your peace of mind, your joy, your ability to trust others, your faith in the divine, your inner child's laughter, and your freedom to dream without fear. Unlike property or money, no one can legally claim these treasures, yet through manipulation, deceit, neglect, or cruelty, they can feel stripped away. The wounds left behind are not just emotional. They echo through your body, your thoughts, and your energy field, often shaping your entire outlook on life without you realizing it. Psychology and history remind us that this type of theft is rarely random. Often it is part of generational cycles or systemic patterns. A child raised in a narcissistic household, for instance, may inherit not material wealth but emotional emptiness. Developmental psychology shows us that emotional neglect or betrayal during formative years can alter neural pathways, making it harder to form healthy attachments or trust others. In fact, research on trauma reveals that unresolved wounds can be passed down epigenetically, meaning the very biology of future generations can be affected by the spiritual thefts of the past. This is why so many people walk through life with an invisible void, a lingering sense that something essential was taken from them. And it was not money, but the spiritual inheritance meant to guide them toward purpose and destiny. But here is the profound revelation. What has been stolen is not gone forever. Unlike a stolen car or deed to a house, your spiritual inheritance is not destroyed by theft. It is merely hidden, suppressed, or buried. Every time you choose self-respect over shame, every time you forgive yourself instead of carrying blame, every time you remember your worth instead of letting someone else define it, you are reclaiming that inheritance piece by piece. This is why whistleblowers, truth-tellers, and moments of awakening are so powerful. When deceit is exposed, it does more than reveal corruption. It shines a light on the exact place where your treasures were taken, giving you the chance to take them back. And something remarkable happens when you do. Those who thrived on your stolen inheritance begin to lose their false power. Their counterfeit happiness crumbles because it was never authentic. It was always borrowed energy. By manipulating, deceiving, or controlling, they tried to live off the richness of your spirit, but it was never truly theirs. When you awaken to this truth, when you heal and begin reclaiming your inner treasures, the flow of borrowed energy ends. This isn't just personal healing, it's a cosmic realignment, a restoration of balance that echoes far beyond your own life. The process of reclaiming your inheritance is not passive, it is a conscious, courageous act. It requires peeling back layers of lies, unlearning false narratives about your worth, and daring to protect what is sacred within you. It means confronting uncomfortable truths, forgiving where necessary, but never forgetting the lessons. It means embracing the quiet power of self-awareness and recognizing that every scar is not just evidence of loss, but also a map leading you back to what was hidden. Reclaiming isn't about going back to who you once were. It's about becoming more than you imagined. fortified by resilience and wisdom. Spiritual teachers across traditions echo this truth. Jesus spoke of treasures stored in heaven, untouched by moth or rust. Mystics teach that the soul carries an eternal record of what belongs to it, even when the world tries to strip it away. Modern psychology confirms that healing is possible through practices like mindfulness, therapy, and forgiveness, which literally rewire the brain and restore emotional balance. What all of these perspectives agree on is simple yet profound. Nothing that truly belongs to your soul can ever be permanently lost. So when you reclaim your inheritance, you're not just restoring what was stolen, you're transforming it into something greater, something fortified. Your peace becomes deeper, your laughter more authentic, your faith unshakable. The world around you, no matter how cruel, cannot take what you have reclaimed with awareness and intention. This inheritance becomes luminous, untouchable, eternal. And this is the gift of the chosen one, the ability to rise from theft and betrayal, not diminished but amplified. In the end, your inheritance is not just about what was taken, it is about what you choose to restore. And once restored, it becomes a living testimony that no manipulation, no cruelty, no shadow can ever erase the eternal wealth of your soul. What belongs to you will always find its way back. And once it does, it can never be stolen again. Point 6. They are experiencing a spiritual blackout. As you continue to awaken and strengthen your spiritual gifts, you may begin to notice a stark contrast between your journey and those around you who have chosen a path of darkness. While you move with ease, guided by intuition and divine whispers, some are stumbling blindly through life, trapped in a spiritual blackout. This isn't merely a metaphor, it is a real energetic consequence when someone repeatedly chooses actions rooted in fear, manipulation, or negativity. They effectively sever their connection to the divine, cutting themselves off from the guidance that flows freely to those aligned with higher frequencies. Their stress, their panic is born from this disconnection. They sense deep down that something is missing, yet they cannot access it. It's like trying to navigate a city in total darkness. Every step is uncertain, every decision fraught with anxiety because they've willingly burned the bridges that could lead them to light. This isolation is both psychological and spiritual. Human beings are inherently designed to connect, not just socially but spiritually. When one cuts themselves off from universal guidance, they experience a profound sense of loneliness that no human companionship can remedy. This is why many who walk the darker paths are plagued with constant worry, restlessness, and an unshakable feeling of being left behind. They cannot hear the subtle cues of the universe, the synchronicities, the signs, the inner nudges that you, the chosen one, receive almost effortlessly. These whispers are the language of the divine, and without the proper alignment, they remain inaudible, leaving the lost to flounder in self-created darkness. Fascinatingly, neuroscience is beginning to reflect what ancient spiritual teachings have long suggested. Individuals who engage in practices that enhance intuition and self-awareness, like meditation, mindful reflection, or connecting with nature, literally strengthen the pathways in their brain associated with empathy, pattern recognition, and foresight. Conversely, living in constant fear, envy, or deceit can diminish these pathways, effectively shutting down the brain's ability to perceive subtle cues. In other words, their blackout isn't only energetic, it is physiological as well. Yet it is crucial to understand that this is not about punishment. It's a natural law of spiritual alignment. Energy attracts energy. Those who move toward darkness simply cannot coexist on the same frequency as those walking in light. The distress they feel is a mirror of their own choices, a reflection of the life they have constructed by ignoring their inner compass. Meanwhile, your connection grows stronger with every act of clarity, courage, and love, drawing you closer to divine insight. The universe is generous, but it favors the aligned. Your gifts, your ease in receiving guidance, and your resilience in times of uncertainty are the rewards of maintaining your bridge to the light, a bridge they burned long ago. As a chosen one, your clarity is a beacon. You are the one who hears the whispers, who walks with divine rhythm, and who manifests blessings seemingly effortlessly. And while others may panic in their darkness, you move forward, confident in your connection, knowing that the universe conspires in your favor. Their blackout may be temporary or permanent, but for you the light always shines. Point 7. It's your turn to prosper boldly. This is the most important point of all, my chosen ones. The stress, the tension, the unease that they are feeling, it's not random. It's a signal, a cosmic alarm bell, and it's pointing straight at the moment you've been preparing for your entire life. Throughout history, those who have stayed true to their integrity, who have weathered storms with patience and faith, often find that the universe responds not with chaos, but with clarity, opportunity, and alignment. That stress they feel is a reflection of imbalance, a reaction to the light you've cultivated. It's as if the universe itself is nudging them to acknowledge that their time of control, of manipulation is fading. You've done the work, chosen ones. You've remained steadfast while others faltered, holding to your truth when shortcuts and deceit seemed easier. And now the tables have turned. You are no longer just surviving, you are stepping into a space where prosperity in every form is possible. This isn't just financial abundance, though that will likely come. This is holistic prosperity, flourishing relationships, radiant health, mental clarity, and spiritual growth that expands your consciousness. Science even tells us that when we live aligned with our values, our bodies release endorphins and hormones that improve both mental and physical health, reinforcing that alignment. The quote that encapsulates this cosmic justice is simple but profound. What's done in the dark will always come to light. Their actions once hidden are now revealed. Their schemes, their shadows are exposed by the very light you've cultivated in silence. Your energy, your authenticity acts like a lighthouse cutting through the fog of deception. People, circumstances, and even the universe itself begin to respond to that light. Your presence is no longer quiet, it resonates. So understand this, chosen ones. The stress, the chaos, and the drama around you aren't a threat. They're proof that your time has arrived. Step forward boldly, trust the process, and watch as every seed you've planted in patience blooms with unmistakable brilliance. Your rise is inevitable, and nothing in the shadows can stop the light you carry. So walk in your power. Be unapologetic about your blessings. Don't feel guilty for their stress. It's the natural consequence of their choices. Embrace this new chapter of your life with open arms, and know that you are a powerful, divinely protected being. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. Thank you so much for watching, my amazing chosen ones. If this message resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe for more truth bombs and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Remember, stay awake and stay blessed. I'll see you in the next one.